"Don't come to the wedding," my mom texted. "You and your kids just make things awkward." My brother reacted with a laughing emoji. I replied, "Then you won't need my card for the venue." The group chat kept buzzing with laughter, completely unaware of what was about to happen next. I don't remember exactly when my mother stopped treating me like her daughter and more like her personal bank account, but I can tell you the exact moment I realized it was never going to change. It was a random Tuesday. I was in line at the pharmacy with my youngest kid sick at home, a $140 antibiotic in my hand, and my phone buzzed with a notification from the family group chat. I opened it, expecting some update about the wedding. Jenna's wedding, which I had been helping organize, fund, and emotionally carry for the past 6 months. But no. There was no greeting, no explanation, no warning. "Don't come to the wedding. You and your kids just make things awkward." My thumb froze mid-scroll. Then Jenna reacted with a laughing emoji. And then another. Megan followed it up with "Almeo chill mom," like they were all in on a joke. A meme popped up, some girl being kicked out of a party. It wasn't just hurtful. It was surgical. Deliberate. Like they had planned it. I stood there in the pharmacy holding medicine my insurance didn't fully cover, realizing I'd just spent over $4,000 in the last few months helping Jenna with deposits, fittings, rental cars, even the damn floral arrangements. Not because she asked, but because I wanted to be included. Because I thought maybe this time things would be different. I replied once. "Then you won't need my card for the venue." No one took it seriously. Megan sent a crying laughing gif. Jenna posted a photo of her wedding shoes. My mom said, "We'll figure something out, don't make drama." I muted the chat. What they didn't know, what they never bothered to pay attention to, was that the venue contract was in my name. My credit card was the one they used for the initial $3,000 deposit. They didn't even show up to the first meeting. I did. I took time off work to sit there with the coordinator and walk through catering options and scheduling because Jenna was too stressed, and my mom didn't want to drive across town. The next morning, the venue coordinator called me. I recognized her voice before she even said her name. "Hi Chloe, I just wanted to check in. Someone from your party tried to make final payment but it didn't go through, and since you're the primary on the contract, I asked a simple question. If I wanted to cancel the event, could I?" There was a pause. Then she said yes. She even sounded like she understood. I canceled it on the spot. And then I made a new reservation. Same date, same time slot, different event. A quiet vow renewal for my friends Carla and Denise, 2 women I've known since college, who'd eloped during COVID and never got the celebration they deserved. They didn't believe me at first when I offered to fund the whole thing. I told them I needed a reason to feel good again. They cried. By noon the next day, Megan texted the group chat. "Why did the venue say the booking was cancelled?" Then Jenna jumped in. "What is going on?" They still didn't message me directly. That night I got a text from my stepdad Rick. "Your mom is freaking out. I told her this was going to happen. You've done too much for them to be treated like this. I just want you to know I'm sorry. I'm on your side." Rick had always been quiet, but he saw everything. I caught him more than once slipping Megan gas money or whispering to my mom that maybe I shouldn't be the only one paying for things. He's not my biological dad, but he's the only father figure I ever had. The only one who helped me move when I got divorced. The only one who came to my son's soccer games. The only one who actually noticed when I lost 20 pounds from stress last year. I told him he didn't have to get involved. He replied with something that shook me. "If she doesn't start treating you better, I don't know if I can stay in this marriage. I've had enough." That was when I realized this wasn't just my fight anymore. They thought I'd play the doormat like always. Smile. Swallow it. Write another check. But they had no idea what was coming. They thought I wouldn't do anything. They didn't know I already had. By Thursday morning, the group chat had gone quiet. It was almost funny. 2 days earlier, they were practically choking on their own laughter, sending gifs and inside jokes and talking about me like I wasn't in the chat. But now silence. Not one message asking what happened. No one admitting they messed up. Not even Jenna, who had the most to lose. I waited. Not out of revenge, at least not in the beginning. I was curious. I wanted to see how long they'd pretend everything was fine. They knew the wedding was cancelled. They had to. Jenna had been obsessively checking that venue's Instagram for weeks. Her stylist followed them. Her florist tagged them in a story. There's no way she missed the announcement when the venue publicly posted that a new private event had been added for October 19th, and that it was no longer her wedding. So they said nothing. Friday came and went. Nothing. Then Saturday morning I got the first real crack in their little performance. Megan messaged me directly. "Hey, random question. Do you know why the venue said our event is no longer on the calendar?" Jenna's freaking out a little. I didn't respond. A few hours later I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was the florist Jenna had hired. He sounded confused. Said someone named Angela, my mom, had tried to pay the final invoice, but the deposit hadn't cleared. Asked if I was still the point of contact. I told her no, I wasn't involved anymore. Then I blocked her number. By Saturday evening, Jenna cracked. She texted me, Megan, and my mom in a new group chat titled Rebuild the Plan. Like we were launching a military operation. Her first message? I'm done playing games. Someone better tell me what the hell is going on with my wedding. Then the calls started. I ignored them. I finally picked up when my mom called the house phone, something she hadn't done in years. I figured it had to be bad. She didn't even try to ease into it. No apology. No acknowledgement of what she said. Just accusations. You sabotaged your sister's wedding. How could you be so petty? I didn't answer the way she expected. I just asked her a question. Was I even invited anymore? He tried to spin it. Said it was all a misunderstanding. Said I took her message too literally. That she was stressed. That she meant I should come later, not miss the wedding entirely. She blamed Jenna, said she was hormonal. Then she blamed me, said I was being dramatic. I hung up. That night Rick texted. You okay? Just checking in. I told him the truth. That I wasn't sad. I wasn't even angry. I just felt done. Like something in me had finally shut off and I didn't want to turn it back on again. He asked if I had time for coffee the next morning. We met at a quiet place downtown. He looked exhausted. Said he'd been sleeping in the guest room. That the house had turned into a circus. My mom was furious, Jenna was hysterical, and Megan was trying to play peacekeeper while secretly blaming me. Then he leaned in and said something I never expected. If your mom doesn't change, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. I didn't marry her to watch her destroy her own daughter. I didn't know what to say. Rick had never spoken like that before. He was always the peacemaker, the background guy. But now he was pissed. He told me Jenna had spent the last 2 days calling every venue within 60 miles. Everything was booked. She finally found a place. A low-budget banquet hallway outside of town. The kind of place that smelled like frozen lasagna and had plastic chairs that squeaked when you sat. She had no choice but to take it. And the only available date? A Wednesday. 2 weeks later. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Rick smiled a little. Then he said I told her not to expect me to pay a dime unless she apologized. She said I was being manipulated by you. I asked him what he said back. He shrugged. I said, no. I'm finally just paying attention. By Sunday night, Jenna had changed her bio on Instagram. It no longer said, October 19th bride. Now it said, almost Mrs. heart emoji. I scrolled through her feed, half the vendors were gone. The makeup artist canceled. The photographer was already booked on the new date. They were pretending like everything was fine. I could have told them the truth. That it was never going to be fine. That they crossed a line they couldn't uncross. But I didn't say anything. They still thought I was just hurt. They didn't know I was done. The new venue looked like something out of a bingo night flyer. Jenna didn't post pictures, but I saw it. Megan tagged the wrong account when she uploaded a blurry photo of the entrance. Beige walls, folding chairs, those round tables that rock if you lean your elbows too hard. The ceiling was lined with yellowish tiles and the stage had a fake floral arch that hadn't been dusted since 2014. Their new dream wedding was set for a Wednesday at 6 p.m. with a strict 3-hour window. And now they were trying to act like it was all part of the plan. Rick called me the night before their final walkthrough. He sounded tired. Your mom is still pretending like she's not at fault. But I told her I meant what I said. If this doesn't change, if she can't take responsibility, I'm out. I asked him if he meant out of the wedding. He said no. Out of the marriage. I didn't say much. I just listened while he explained how long he'd been watching this unfold. He said he used to think it was just old wounds between me and my mom. That maybe I was overreacting. But after the way they handled the venue fallout, he saw it differently. He saw how quickly they cut me out when I was no longer useful. He said he had tried talking to Jenna directly too. That conversation didn't go well. She told him I was emotionally unstable. That I always overstepped. That I'd been trying to make her wedding about me since day one. He told her she was spoiled. Jenna screamed at him. Called him a traitor. By the end of the call, Rick said he felt like he was living with strangers. The next morning I woke up to another text from my mom. This one was longer. An attempt, I guess, at some kind of reconciliation. She said things got out of hand. That family's fight. That I should come to the new wedding and, let's just move forward. She even said they'd understand if I didn't want to contribute financially anymore. I didn't respond. At noon, Megan texted me privately. They really want you to come. We're trying to keep things from falling apart. That's when I realized what this really was. It wasn't about me. Not really. It was about control. They weren't inviting me out of guilt. They were panicking. They were starting to see how fragile their whole setup was when I wasn't carrying the weight. I replied to Megan. Tell Jenna she'll be fine. She just has to figure it out the way I always had to. Then I did something I hadn't done in months. I opened my banking app and started reviewing all the auto payments. The bridal dress rental I'd fronted for Megan? Cancelled. The rental car Jenna was using to haul decorations? Also under my name. I scheduled it for return the next morning. The shared family phone plan? I removed my card and scheduled service termination for the end of the week. They wanted independence. They were about to get it. An hour later Megan called crying. Said the car company called her. Said they were threatening to tow it if she didn't return it or pay the balance. I told her that wasn't my problem anymore. She asked me how I could do this. I asked her the same thing. Then I hung up. That night Rick came by. Unannounced. He brought a small box of things I'd left at their house. Old photos, some books, a sweater I forgot. Said he wanted to return them before things escalated any further. Then he told me something I wasn't expecting. I took out a loan. $15,000. Just enough to get them through the wedding. He said it like it hurt. Because it did. I didn't tell him he was making a mistake. I knew why he was doing it. He still hoped he could hold the family together even as it cracked in his hands. Before he left, I handed him an envelope. $2,000. He blinked like he thought I was joking. I told him it was for him. To help lighten the loan. I didn't want it to go to Jenna or Megan. I just didn't want him to suffer for their mess. He didn't say much. He just nodded, held the envelope and looked more exhausted than I'd ever seen him. And then he said one last thing before getting in his car. I still think of you as my daughter. Just so you know. As he pulled out of the driveway I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Not sadness. Not guilt. Just peace. The wedding happened. Wednesday evening. A gloomy, overcast day. It rained around 4 p.m., then stopped just long enough for everyone to get wet and annoyed before the sky stayed gray and heavy. I wasn't there. But I saw everything. Not because I wanted to, because people sent it to me. Friends, distant cousins, even one of the vendors who followed me from earlier in the planning stages. They were all quietly confused, wondering why I wasn't there. Some thought I was sick. Others assumed I must have been traveling. But I knew what they were really asking. What happened? I didn't answer. I let the photos and stories roll in like a slow leak. The venue was worse than expected. One long room with tiled floors, the kind you mop with a push broom. Half the guests showed up late because of the timing. A third didn't show at all. The lighting was fluorescent. The cake melted. No one had brought a backup speaker, so the music kept cutting out. There was no MC, just Megan trying to shout over the noise and clap to cue the dances. But the best part? The bouquet toss got cut short when one of Jenna's ex-friends, someone she hadn't invited but showed up anyway with another guest, caught the bouquet and yelled, "Too bad the groom's still texting me." Yeah, that actually happened. Apparently it caused a scene. Jenna ran off to the bathroom. The music stopped. Some people laughed. Others tried to cover it up. But by then the damage was done. Rick texted me later that night. It was a disaster. Just thought you should know. I didn't even reply right away. I waited until the next morning. Then I just sent. He tried. That's more than they deserved. He called. Said Jenna was in denial. My mom kept saying it was just bad luck. That the rain ruined the vibe. That people were jealous of Jenna's confidence. He sounded tired again. But something had shifted in his voice. Then he told me something I hadn't heard before. After the ex-friend incident, Jenna and my mom pulled him into the kitchen of the venue and blamed him. Said he invited the wrong people. That it was his fault for not controlling the guest list. For not paying more. For not stepping up. That was when he snapped. You don't get to blame me for the wedding you destroyed yourselves, he told them. You pushed away the only person who was holding everything together. Chloe did more than any of you and you burned that bridge for nothing. He said the look on Jenna's face was blank. Like she didn't understand what he meant. Like she couldn't process the fact that I was gone and the whole thing still fell apart. But my mom? She stayed quiet. Said nothing. Just walked away. Rick left that night before the cleanup. Said he wasn't going to scrub floors for a wedding that spit him out. Then came the most unexpected thing. The next afternoon, a message from Jenna. First time she contacted me directly since the fallout. You must feel so proud of yourself. Everyone's talking about how you didn't show. How cold you are. Guess you finally got the attention you wanted. That's when I knew. She still didn't get it. She still thought this was about me being bitter. Or petty. Or jealous. She couldn't see that this wasn't revenge. It was release. I didn't answer her. But 2 days later Rick sent me another message. Just 2 words. I'm leaving. I called him, unsure if I even read it right. He told me he was done. He'd packed a suitcase and was staying at a friend's house for now. Said the loan was his responsibility and he'd deal with it. But he wasn't going to live in a house where he was treated like a villain for trying to be decent. He also told me something else. He added my name as a secondary beneficiary on his insurance policy. You're the only one who ever treated me like family. I didn't cry. I didn't even feel much in that moment. Just a quiet, heavy kind of sadness. Not because of the wedding. Not even because of the years lost. But because even after everything, the only decent man in that house was the one who never really belonged to them in the first place. I thought they'd at least last a few months before reaching out again. But it took less than 3 weeks. The first message came from Megan. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but my card didn't go through for the car rental. They said I still owe a balance from before. Can you help me just this once? Just this once. The phrase they always used like the last 50 times didn't count. I left the message on read. The next day Jenna emailed me. Like it was some professional request. Subject line. Help? Hi Chloe, I know we haven't been in touch and I'm not expecting anything, but we're kind of in a bind. The credit cards are maxed out from the wedding, and some of the bills are due sooner than expected. I wouldn't ask, but we're stretched really thin. I know you said you didn't want to be involved anymore and I respect that. But if there's any way you could just help us this month, I'd be forever grateful. No apology. No acknowledgement of what they'd done. Just the soft, strategic wording of someone who still thought I might bite if they sounded desperate enough. I didn't respond. Later that night Rick called me again. They're unraveling, he said. Megan's trying to return her bridesmaid dress for cash. Jenna's calling the DJ asking for a partial refund because the energy wasn't right. Your mom is pretending none of it is happening. Then he said something that stopped me. Your mother asked me if I think you'd ever forgive them. I asked him what he said. He sighed. I said I don't think forgiveness is the problem. I think trust is. And they shattered it. A few days later my mom texted. First time since the wedding. She didn't mention it. Didn't ask about my kids. Just said, you've made your point, but this is still your family. You can't just cut everyone off. I stared at it for a while. Then replied, that's the thing. I didn't cut anyone off. I just stopped funding my own mistreatment. She didn't answer after that. The calls started coming more frequently. Megan asking for money to fix her car. Jenna trying to get help covering rent. My mom claiming she needed a small loan to cover something for the house. Though I later found out she just wanted to get her hair done before some community gala. I said no. Every time. And then something happened I wasn't expecting. They started crying. I don't mean literally, we weren't face to face. But the tone of their messages changed. The sarcasm disappeared. The emojis vanished. It wasn't just neediness now. It was panic. Rick told me the truth. The loan wasn't enough. Jenna blew through it within weeks. They'd overbooked on vendors, borrowed money from other relatives, and now they were cornered. She thought the wedding would fix everything, Rick said. But all it did was show her who wouldn't clean up after her anymore. He sounded done. He told me he offered to help Megan with her car if she apologized to me. Not for show, not for money, just a real apology. Acknowledging what she'd said. What she did. She refused. Said she didn't owe anyone anything. So Rick walked out of the conversation. He told me he was moving into a condo the following week. A small one-bedroom downtown. Said it was peaceful. Said he could finally breathe. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten for him too. I'd been so caught up in my own fallout with them that I didn't see he was stuck in a mess he didn't create, trying to keep the roof from collapsing while they tore holes in the walls. I asked him if he regretted taking the loan. He didn't know. Because it bought me clarity. I saw what mattered. And it wasn't them. We sat in silence for a few seconds. Then I told him something I hadn't said to anyone. I used to think I was the broken one in this family. That if I just helped more, paid more, kept showing up, I'd finally be accepted. But I don't want to be accepted by people who only know how to take. He said he felt the same way. The next morning I got another message from Jenna. Just one line. Please, I can't do this anymore. I didn't answer. Because I finally understood what peace felt like. It wasn't silence. It was not needing to respond. Rick told me about the second wedding a few weeks before it happened. He said Jenna had insisted on redoing it properly. A real venue this time, nicer decor, a photographer she couldn't afford the first time. He didn't look thrilled when he said it, but he also didn't sound bitter. Just resigned. He said he was going to cover the cost himself. A clean slate, he called it. He didn't want any lingering debts tied to my mom or the girls. It was being held at a vineyard outside town. He took out another loan, $15,000, just to give them the day they swore they deserved. I told him he didn't owe them that. He just smiled and said maybe not. But sometimes doing the right thing has nothing to do with who deserves it. I wasn't invited, of course. Jenna made sure of that. My mom sent a group text a few days before, saying she hoped everyone could move forward after this. She didn't mention my name. Megan posted a photo captioned round 2, no drama this time. I stayed quiet. I didn't post anything. Didn't comment. I just watched from a distance, not out of curiosity but because I needed to see how it ended. Rick texted me the night before the wedding. I wish you were coming. You were the only one who ever actually showed up for this family. I told him I'd be thinking of him and that I hoped the day went smoothly. He said if it doesn't, at least I'll know I tried. The next day I kept my phone close but didn't check it. I took my kids out to the park instead. It was a clear day, one of those rare fall afternoons where everything feels settled and easy. When we got home I saw a missed call from Rick and a few photos in my messages. The wedding had gone. Fine, I guess. The pictures looked almost normal. Everyone was smiling but in that forced, polite way. No laughter. No warmth. Just staged happiness under soft vineyard lights. Then I saw a message from Rick underneath the photos. It's done. I'm free. He didn't mean free from the event. He meant free from them. He'd already packed his things. Told my mom it was over as soon as they got home. He said she didn't even fight him, just stared like she didn't understand what was happening. Megan started crying. Jenna stormed out. But he didn't stay to see the rest. He told me later that as he drove away he felt calm for the first time in years. He said he'd rather live small and peaceful than in a house built on entitlement. That night I left an envelope in his mailbox, $2,000 just like before. I didn't attach a note this time. I knew he'd know why. A week later he called. He said you didn't have to do that. I told him you didn't have to help me either, but you did. He went quiet for a moment then said I'm proud of you, you know. You broke the cycle. I didn't say anything after that. There wasn't much left to say. Months passed. My mom and the girls went mostly quiet. I'd see the occasional post from Jenna. Filtered photos, forced smiles, long captions about growth and boundaries. Megan moved back home after losing her job. My mom pretended she was thriving, posting motivational quotes between passive-aggressive memes. Rick and I still meet for coffee once a month. He's different now. Lighter. Happier. He's dating again, actually. Someone kind. Someone quiet. I'm glad for him. Sometimes he brings up the wedding and we laugh, not out of cruelty but disbelief. Like we both can't believe we survived it. And every so often when I think about that first text, don't come to the wedding. You and your kids just make things awkward, I almost feel grateful for it. Because if she hadn't sent it, I'd probably still be paying for people who never intended to see me as family. Now I don't pay for anyone. I just live. And that finally feels like winning.